Second down and 10, and Turner. Strong running.
Oh, Pete Carroll told us, I'm not buying into that. Michael Turner is a load. If he gets into the second level, that's where some of those secondary guys start to make.
Rogers checks into the backfield. Wide open. Tony Gonzalez. It's Douglas in motion, and they pitch it to Rogers. And that'll be a gain of close to 9.
Third down, it could be key in winning the game today.
Jason Snelling, 44, checks into the backfield for the first time. And you get a look at Gonzalez. Take the run. Ryan rolling. And that is a catch by Roddy White.
This route by Roddy White, this is their wheelhouse. This comeback route between Roddy White and Matt Ryan. I promise you, that ball was on the way before Roddy White even made his break.
They've scored more touchdowns and scored more points than any team in the NFL. Rodgers slips through a couple of times. Fake the pitch, come back the other way to Julio Jones. And Turner. And he's grabbed down behind by
with that type of discipline.
All day to throw it. And that's Roddy White.
Well, you can see Roddy White scraping to get to the inside. One way to stay away from these big corners outside, go into the middle of the field, where now Winston Guy and Marcus Trufant, who aren't quite as big as Browner and Sherman, have to match.
First down throw, Ryan looking to the end zone. And it is a catch at the 1-yard line.
Well, first off, what a phenomenal catch and throw for Kaufman and Matt Ryan. Those are the type of throws you expect seen thrown to Tony Gonzalez. He doesn't have a lot of practice with Kaufman throwing in just that area. Looks like he's got control. The foot scrapes. I think that's a good catch.
Ryan to Tony Gonzalez and a touchdown.
Right on the end line. What a magnificent throw and catch. Right foot down, left foot down. The future Hall of Famer has got yet another touchdown on his resume.
Gonzalez said at the beginning of the year he was 90. Them are enjoying today's game. Those that have served, are serving, and will serve. Rodgers looking at collision and runs through the defender. And now Rodgers crossing the 50. All the way to the 41-yard line. Oh, goodness, he steamrolled Earl Thomas.
Are we sure that's Jacquez Rodgers? That looks more like Marshawn Lynch. That looks more like Michael Turner. Watch this. You don't expect this kind of power in this Lynch-esque type of run. He's running over people. He's running through people. This is why I said coming into the game, we may see Jacquez Rodgers more in this role as the game continues. And so far, it is the running game that has got them with a 10-0 lead.
Roddy White to the 40.
They expected this to happen.
Averaging over 8 yards per carry. Crossing pattern, Julio Jones will get the first down.
Just a simple crossing route. We talked about the downfield game of Roddy White and Julio Jones. One of the easiest thing to do, to run away from these big corners and just cross the field. This is a big, strong receiver. As I said, I don't know that Seattle has seen a receiving core that can match their size the way the Atlanta Falcons can. Turner.
That's a good solid carry on. Everybody talks about this aerial attack, but really you go back to when Mike Smith arrived and Matt Ryan arrived in 2008. That's the year that Turner arrived. They fake it to him. And did Gonzalez make the catch? Wow, he down.
This is spectacular. You hear all the time the word in the NFL now for defenders is guys that can play long, meaning long arms, make it small windows. Well, this is a tight end that can play long. That had no business being completed, but it was the long arms, the focus, and the beautiful hands of Tony Gonzalez.
Third and a yard. This was a problem down for the Falcons this season. Well, they pick it up here. Ryan looking, and now he'll slide by the Falcons defense. And a 4th and 1, so now Matt Ryan puts it in the hands of Turner. From the sideline. Turner once more. First down yardage and then some. Rumbles his way up. Just shy of midfield of the
jumbo personnel. Mike Johnson out at tackle, lining up at a tight end. I can't say enough about this offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons. Much maligned for their lack of running game this season, and right now they are manhandling the bigger, what was thought to be the more physical Seattle Eagles
head coaching job, and he told us yesterday he will interview for 2 other head coaching vacancies. Wouldn't say which team. Looking for Roddy White. Touchdown. .47 yards, scoring strike. Ryan to Roddy White. And now a point after away from a 20-0 lead. Boy, you get that huge stop. Brian, you talk about momentum and emotion all the time in this game of football. 3rd down and 1 stop, 4th down and 1 stop. You get a big carry by Turner, and then bang.
Let's back it up even further. The big penalty on the Atlanta offense that forced them to go for 3 points. Then Seattle goes the length of the field, and for the defense to respond the way they did, and then Matt Ryan and this offense to come in and respond to that, it's going all Atlanta's way right now.
Of course, they review every scoring play, and they're just making sure that White has complete 7. First down, they pitch it to Michael Turner, who had an outstanding first half. So a very important 3rd down for this Seahawks defense. Atlanta 4 of 7 converting on 3rd down so far. Blitz coming. And the catch is made by Gonzalez. Touchdown. Off-screen passes during the season, by far the most among all teams in the league. Great protection. Catch and a first down by Julio Jones. 11.5 of those, and we have not called Bruce Irvin's name, the rookie, all day today.
And that's been a factor in these completions down the field, because this route takes a while to crank up. Nice job of, look at the eyes on the ball, looking at to the tuck, looking at to the catch, particularly going across the middle when you're.
Runner on first down.
Career, they really like their young rookie right guard. Pete Coons has done a nice job for them in infusing into the line.
Roll to the far side, and the catch was made by Harry Douglas. Second down and 10. Jones inside the 20, all the way to the 22-yard line.
Just a quick little inside slant. A very nice play design by Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, flaring the back out underneath, taking underneath coverage away from it, giving Matt Ryan an easy completion to the 6'3", 220-pound who felt like they could run the ball, and it's played out beautifully for them today.
Blitz coming. Ryan delivers, and look at the strength of Tony Gonzalez. Sit away from Winston Guy.
Once again, we see Seattle's having to bring more pressure to try to get to Matt Ryan. That creates the one-on-ones down the field. Winston Guy at 6'1" is no match for the bigger, more athletic Tony Gonzalez.
What a player, what a player. Going to his 13 seasons of his 16 years. Laid off to Rodgers, and he's down to the 5-yard line.
Risk in terms of putting the ball in the end zone here.
See, the first time, and it's his 4th career playoff game. Ryan has eclipsed 200 yards passing, and it's Snelling who finds the end zone.
Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, loving that play. You know, this is one of those plays you might practice and practice and practice for weeks without calling it just the right time to get the score. All they're going to do is bring everything out to the right and trail Jason Snelling with a little shovel pass, really getting the Seattle Seahawks to flow. Blown the execution on the field after what happened in the first half. We've talked forever about going West Coast to East Coast for Washington game, having to go back, coming to the East Coast again for the Atlanta game. You could have understood Seattle not having the energy to finish this off. But right now, kudos to the Seattle Seahawks for emotionally fighting back and taking a 1-point lead.
Of course, Atlanta has 2 timeouts left, and here's Jaquiz Rodgers. And he's out across the 15 to the 20 and up to the 25 and the 27. So 25 seconds remain. Matt Ryan has 2 timeouts left. We saw them pull off one of their great comebacks in franchise history out of timeouts with under a minute 2 years ago against Chicago. Tony Gonzalez never with a playoff win. Matt Ryan 0 for 3. Likewise for Mike Smith. This is their 3rd straight time of the playoffs in his 5 years, their 4th time overall.
The timeouts allow them to go to the middle of the field should they choose. Otherwise, you're looking at deep outside routes.
Ryan steps up, throws, and the catch is made by Harry Douglas, and ends to the 48-yard line, and a timeout.
And this is exactly how they came back in the Chicago game with a deep outside throw. I believe it was to Michael Jenkins from before. And now they're within 15 yards of a makeable field goal with 1 timeout.
Stay tuned. Following our game coverage for the Broken City post-game show. 19 seconds left. Career long for Matt Bryant is 62 yards. That means you'd have to get roughly to the 45-yard line. But let's be honest about it. 62, the chances are pretty slim.
And I say again, with 1 timeout, it leaves you the option of throwing the ball in the middle of the field should you choose, rather than having to make the outside throw like we just saw.
Bryant's season long is 55. Ryan caught by Gonzalez. Well within field goal range now. 1 timeout left. Ryan trying to get him to the line of scrimmage. Nope, they're going to call timeout. Leading by 20. Atlanta has the lead. Get away from him. Seattle goes up by 1 with less than a minute, and now Matt Bryant will have a chance to send Atlanta to the NFC Championship game.
And Tom, if Matt Bryant makes this field goal, how much will this do for this franchise and Matt Ryan? We've talked about the pressure on Matt Ryan. If they'd have just kept this thing going and made it a rout, sure, it would have been a great win. But how about if they can pull this off now with Matt Ryan making 2 big throws to bring them back and win this game?
Keep an eye on Red Bryant, number 79. He has 5 blocked field goals in his career. This one will be from 49 yards away.
And he has sliced up the middle of this field goal team, or PAT attempts, twice already. He hasn't gotten home, but he's sliced through pretty good.
Josh Harris, the snapper. The holder is his punter, Matt Bosher, and timeout was called before that kick got away. Timeout was called by Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's looking around saying, who called timeout?
Somebody called timeout. And again, a veteran kicker will tell you, if you're going to let me get the kickoff, thank you, because you just gave me a mulligan. You just gave me a chance to size it up. You want to get that thing called so they don't actually get it snapped and kicked. Right now, Pete's wondering who called the timeout. Well, I don't know. It looks pretty straightforward there, unless he whispered in here and says, I'm not calling a timeout. Forget it.
Right, that's a good point. All right, here we go again. 13 seconds left. 49 yards away from Matt Bryant. From the right hash. Good snap. Good hold. And it is good.
You look at Mike Smith there. That's why that hair is that color. You last long enough in this league. What a comeback. What a game. And as I said, it would have been one thing to run them out of the house. But boy, I tell you what, to bring it back this way. Now, we've still got 8 seconds on the board. But boy, what a sequence of events for the Atlanta Falcons, for Matt Ryan, for Mike Smith, Arthur Blank, and what that will do for this franchise if they can hold on to the win.
49-yarder by Bryant. We had a lengthy visit with him the other day and talked about being cut loose by Tampa Bay. Went and played in the USL. Hoping to get another chance, and since coming to Atlanta, he's been money.
You got to give kudos to the Seattle Seahawks now. They could have been out of this game a dozen different times. Both these teams responding in a championship caliber way. It's regrettable only one can win.
But still not over.